My Insurance Claim Expert, proudly brought to you by Panther Public Adjusting. I'm Mendy, and today I'm going to share with you one of my favorite stories where a client luckily had insurance and got paid properly in the end, but it was full of all kinds of challenges, and I actually had a lot of fun resolving his claim. See, it all started about 3-4 days before a hurricane was projected on hitting South Florida. I'm by an event, I'm talking with a friend of mine, and I said to him, hey, I hope you have proper insurance coverage. And he says to me, oh, I live in a condo. I don't need insurance. The condo association has a policy. And I quickly explained to him that the policy his homeowners association has is to cover the main structure. It doesn't include the interior of the condo, such as the floor, the paint, the kitchen cabinets, the bathroom vanity, toilet, bathtub, showers, etc. And that really, it is very important for all condo owners to have their own policy that's going to protect them properly. I turned to him and I said, hey, call our other friend and see if he can get you a policy in time, just in case this hurricane hits. And he listened to me. He called the agent, got a policy, and lucky for us, no hurricane hit South Florida. It went up north and hit the Carolinas instead. However, a month later, I'm on vacation and I get a text message and it says, Mendy, help. My downstairs neighbor just messaged me saying that water is leaking from our apartment into his. What should I do? Well, I said, great news, aren't you happy you have an insurance policy? At this point, in Florida, every condo owner is responsible to have their own policy for the damages to their unit unless there's clear negligence. There was no clear negligence here, so we weren't very concerned about the damage to the apartment below as far as for his insurance claim, as they would have to go after their own insurance. But there was also significant damage to his apartment, and here's what we discovered. He had what's known as a shower pan leak. The water came out of the shower pan underneath, and it not only went below, it flooded sideways as well. And it actually went into his closet, underneath the tile, in the wall over there behind the baseboard. In fact, the bottom of the closet had a lot of luxury shoes that his wife collected that were covered in mold. And there was just significant damage. Again, tile floor that ran through the condo, so therefore all the tile would have to be replaced because you can't just replace a few pieces, it wouldn't match. And there was significant damage. So he hired us to represent him. We filed a claim with his insurance company. Now, among the things we do when we file the claim is we investigate, we document, we prepare an estimate, we communicate with the insurance company. And one thing we're very careful about is to keep communications in email format. Even if we have a phone call, we then follow up the phone call with an email documenting what took place. We meet the insurance company out there, the adjuster does his inspection, goes back, puts together his estimate. Doesn't agree on the dollar amount. I think they were at like $20,000 or so. And the insurance company calls us and says, hey, we'd like to negotiate a settlement. Now, policy limits were $68,000 between all coverages. My estimate was higher than $68,000, but end of the day, you always have to give some give and take when you negotiate. And the homeowner told me, Mendy, I want you to negotiate $50,000 as my bottom line. The insurance company, clarification, it was a $32,000 was the amount of the insurance adjuster's estimate, now I remember. And the insurance company was willing to budge a little bit, but they got to $48,500. They said, we are not budging a penny over $48,500. My insured said, Mendy, I'm not accepting a penny below $50,000. So I turned around and used a different strategy. I said in an email, I said, well, since we can't agree, please release undisputed payment. Undisputed is the amount that the insurance company agrees that they owe, which is $32,000. And by law, they cannot withhold that for negotiation purposes or for a release, etc. I sent that in an email. I get an email back from the insurance company saying, we have issued payment of the $32,000. A day later, we bring an attorney on board, have the attorney file a civil remedy notice, which is essentially saying we plan on suing you for not complying with your obligations. In fact, The intent over here was very simple, that once they receive that letter, we've got an $18,000 difference once they already paid $32,000, and they're going to say, okay, we're just going to pay the $18,000 rather than have to go through litigation and bring up expenses. And this particular case was before the new laws in Florida, which removed attorney fees. We filed the CRN. 2 weeks go by, we don't have a check yet. I send an email to the desk adjuster and say, hey, we haven't seen a check. To which point, this is where the insurance company gets really stupid. The adjuster says to me, oh, we're not going to pay you now. You filed a civil remedy notice against us. We'll pay you whenever this gets settled. We're not in a rush. That is clearly illegal in the state of Florida. The attorney got involved. The attorney filed a lawsuit, and there was a number of other things that the insurance company refused to do properly. End of the day, we ended up with a result where the judge was furious with the insurance carrier, was ready to sanction them. The insurance company paid $68,000 policy limits on this claim, and on top of that, they paid about $85,000 in attorney fees due to the amount of work that was put in by the attorney and the fact that they knew they screwed this up. So end of the day, when you have the right team on your side, your claim's going to get paid properly. But I have to say, the insurance company here was pretty stupid. They could have resolved this claim for $50,000. Instead, they paid the insured $68,000 and they paid the attorney $85,000. Not very smart, but that's insurance adjusters for you. So if you have a claim that you've been underpaid, denied, or even a new claim, give us a call at 833-PANTHER or email us questions@pantherpa.com, and we'll make sure your claim is taken care of. Have a great day.